Hey there, friendlies, how's up? I present unto you my new power station. This is an EBL T1 Pro. It is... Oh, before I go any further, I did not pay for the device, but I was not paid to make the video. Disclaimer done. So what do we got? When you open the box, it comes with instruction manual and accessories. What the accessories are is just the cables for the various methods of powering this baby up. And then we'll go more into that in a minute. So what do we got? First off, we get this off. It's a heavy boy, 16.8 kilos, I believe, which in American is that. It's a lithium iron phosphate battery. It's rated at 2200 watts. Or 1126 watt hours. So what do all these flippies and buttons and stuff mean? I'm going to show you. First off, here is the power button, which currently does not work because it arrived uncharged. So, going to tell you about this, going to charge it up, going to plug some stuff into it. So, first off, there's your power button. Then here is your AC control button. Okay, so what that is that's switching between your 50 and 60 hertz. All right? That's your switching control. Over here, you have a DC control button. All right. And then, if you look over here, so here's where your input comes from the wall wart, okay? This is your AC input control button. That switches you between 600 and 1200 watts. You got your AC output here, right? 2 or 3 pole plugs. You got your AC output here. Same thing, okay? DC input. So that's when you're charging it up from DC. DC output. You can plug, stuff that goes into your car. You can plug it in here. As well as little barrel charge ports here. That's not the real term. Sorry, guys. Here you have USB-C outputs. Same deal here. And USB-A in the middle, so you can charge your phone, you can plug your computer in, your laptop, nice stuff. On the back, you got a big old LED light with an on button. Obviously doesn't work right now because this thing did not come charged, as I said, not a problem. On the sides, you have airflow, air input and output to keep the whole thing from, burning up, I guess. Okay, so here's your wall cable, right? That end goes into this guy. That end goes into your wall. This is for charging from your car. Obviously, that end goes into what we used to call the cigarette lighter. And that end goes in right here. Just like that. Click. Okay. And here we have an MC4 to Anderson. Hold on a second. That's not coming into. Is that focused? There you go. So same deal. This goes into the power station and this goes into the other end. Something I'm very interested in with these is solar. This is rated for solar input up to 600 watts. What I have behind me are two 200-watt panels. So no danger of me overloading or wasting, honestly, any juice there. So in terms of the output, as I said, I'll just reiterate a few things. The AC is 50 to 60 hertz. The overall output is 2200 watts. The car output is 13.3 volts. That's this guy right here. One important note about these USB ports is that these two here are 100 watts. All these four, the USB-A and USB-C, they're all 18 watt. So bear that in mind if you're plugging stuff in on the go. When it works, this is a 5-watt LED light. So probably not the brightest thing in the world, but do you want the brightest thing in the world when you're out in the bush? I don't. I would just use that to make sure I know what I'm doing. Well, I'm not kidding about there being no danger of wasting any input because neither of my solar panels came with the Y connector. to get into that input. So 200 watts it is. Beep. Well, I can tell you one thing. That's not the brightest screen in the world when you're on a sunny day. So it says right now that the input is 130 watts. Oh, and that the battery is actually at 54%. But that there are 0 output watts, obviously, because it's not plugged into anything. The speed of the charge and all that stuff is dependent on a few things. First of all, the quality of your panels. Second, if you have any shade over your panel, it degrades the performance kind of markedly. So you want your panel to have as little shade on it as possible. Like if there's a tree over there blocking the sun, move it around. While this is happening, I just want to say these are kind of easy to flap open. I mean, there's a little bit of click if you push on them real hard, but I wouldn't depend on those to protect the goods inside. Like, you got to make sure, don't just throw it around and assume that these are going to stay closed, because they won't. The instructions say don't plug in anything while it's charging, so I'm not going to test the output or anything yet. I'm going to wait until we can get this thing up to 100. Here's the thing. This is not the fastest way to charge one of these at all, okay? If you want to power this thing up, say you're, okay, and that's not a dig on this. This is just in general. If you're about to go on a canoe trip and you want to have a CPAP or something, so you want to bring something like this along, power it up from the wall before you go. Use these just to sort of keep it topped up as you're out there, and like for the entire day, have it plugged in and charging. Because solar is great, it's amazing, the sun is free, I get it, but it ain't the fastest way to charge something. You could use the car charger in a pinch, obviously, but the fastest way to get one of these things juiced up is to use the wall. Look, the sun is really uneven today. Right now, the sun is out. The panels are here, but it's gone down to 68 watts of input. So, like, I'm not kidding when I say this is not the fastest or really most reliable way to do it. Look, it's reliable in that there's always going to be sun in the sky during the day. But if it's a cloudy day, you're going to get a much lower performance. Right now, the sun is not shining directly on us. It's a cloudy day. The sun is just poking through thinner clouds right now. So it's, okay, now we're down to 46% because there's thicker clouds over the sun, right? So when I say plug it into the wall, fill it up, and then just use the sun to keep it topped up, I ain't kidding. So at 43 watts, it says that it will take 11 hours and 47 seconds to fill this baby up. I don't think I'll have sun for that long today because it's currently 2 p.m. So going from the car charger, we're getting 77 watts, which from 55% would be about 7.5 hours of charge time. As you can see, when plugged into the wall, we get a whole lot more in the watts department, which means that from 57% all the way to full, it'll be about 54 minutes. And bingo, right on time. with the laptop running, that's still not enough watts. No, forget you. Oh, that's better. Well, for land's sakes. Coffee makers dropped out a lot because it's no longer brewing coffee. Let's move that out of the way. There you go. Big old heater. I'm going to put it on the floor so that there's no danger of it burning my table. Still at 798, which gives us an hour and 7 seconds of juice. I'm running out of things to bring that laptop back online. It's not a lot. Well, at 8:01. Well, the heater's switched off because it's stinking hot in here, which has dropped us down to 48 watts. So, let's try a radio, shall we? One thing I want to say is that these plugs are quite tight. I'll probably loosen up with use, but hurrah. Turn the volume down. I found Shinama. I want to make sure that, there we go. Little noise, oh yeah, that's a whole 51 watts. So at 51 watts, we have 5 hours and 11 minutes of juice. But I'm running out of stuff to plug in. So what I did was, one of the camera batteries is fully charged, so I unplugged that, and it's been long enough that the heater has cooled off. So I plugged that back in, and so we're at 775 watts, give or take, at about 20 minutes of charge time. So I'm just going to let it go. Going to set another alarm for 20 minutes and see how close to exact we are. Everything ran out about 2 minutes and 5 seconds early. So, I mean, that's still pretty comfortable ballpark to me. Nice. So how does this stack up? Well, right now this is $13.99 on Amazon. For $100 more, the Bluetti AC180, the same battery tech, 1800 watts instead of 22, but 1152 watt hours instead of 1126.4. Okay, the Bluetti gives you 4 AC ports like this, but all 4 of those are the 3-pole ones, whereas this is 2 and 2. But this gives you 1 more USB-C port than the Bluetti does. I want more USB-C ports everywhere. Okay, so it is kind of up to you which you would rather. Bluetti, of course, is a more recognizable brand. If that's important to you, that might be a factor. But tell you what, tell me down below what you would look for, like first off the bat, if you're looking for a power station like this. So that's all she wrote. Thanks for hanging out with me on what is, for me, a very new kind of episode. As I always say, if you like what I'm doing, then please do the following 3 things. 1, comment down below. Same question I just posed a second ago. What's the first thing you look for when looking for a power station? Second, please share this video. That helps me more than you could possibly imagine. And third, leave me a smiley thumb. If you don't like what I'm doing, that's all right. Leave me a frowny thumb. Thanks for watching, guys.